What's going on, guys? In today's video, we're going to be opening up the brand new structure decks in the Neopets Battledome TCG buy upper deck. We have the ILLUSEN's Glade and JHUDORA's Bluff starter decks. I'm really excited to open these. They have a lot of cool new cards. One really big important one being a reprint for JHUDORA that is now easily accessible. Previously, it was an ultra rare in the Defenders of Neopets set, and it's really cool to see that this got a reprint. So, what are in these? You can see on the back, we do have a deck list. And what's really cool to see about this is the deck itself is a full, like, competent deck. Previously, with the starter decks, they were built to be more of like an introduction into the game. And these structure decks are built where you can open them and then immediately jump into a more competitive environment with them. And we'll get a look at the cards themselves here. But we can see each structure deck includes 60 cards, 1 fairy, 5 common Neopets. It says 3 rainbow pool Neopets. There's actually 5 in here. As we can see, every pet does have a ghost variant. Looks like a little bit of a typo there. We have 1 pet, 1 paintbrush, 4 legends, 12 equipment, 8 food, 6 potions, 1 location, and 16 code stones, along with 1 Grundo warehouse code, which are the avatars for the respective decks. We have 10 d6 dice, 1 rule sheet, and 1 play sheet. Yeah, so very cool. And then the ILLUSEN one, we can also take a look at. You can see the deck list on there, and we'll open these up and go one by one. You can also see a preview of the dice, and we'll take a look at that as well. So, why don't we start with the JHUDORA deck first? We'll start with this one because we're already familiar with how, like, JHUDORA's stuff worked in the past. JHUDORA's equipment all worked off of being discarded, and I imagine we'll be seeing some similar themes here. So let's go ahead and get this open. We've got our playmat, which looks pretty standard. And looks like we've got our rule sheet. So this is just explains how to play the game and everything. And then a little bit about strategy. And then flipping it around, just more for the rules and stuff. So, very cool. Let's check out the dice first. So, the dice itself, looks to be like a purplish yellow. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of expected it to be like purple on the outside and then have like a green on the for like the numbers and stuff. But check that out. These are really cool. I think they look so awesome. I've always been a big fan of using the Neopets Battledome dice. Obviously 1 to 6, with this being the 6 for your critical hits. So not bad. 1 crit, 1 success. I'll take it. But yeah, very cool dice. I definitely plan on using those. And then the big thing, we have the deck itself. So let's go ahead and get it up. Yeah, I've been very excited for these. The JHUDORA reprints are very nice. It's going to be really easy to just integrate those in any old deck. So you can easily pick up a couple of these just to round out play sets. Or not play sets, but just to bolster old decks. Because there are some really cool cards in here. One of which is the JHUDORA Legend right on the cover. And we can see there's like a special foiling here. So I don't think we've seen the foiling in like other products yet. It's really cool. JHUDORA, this is her first time as a legend. She is a 1 cost, and she reads: you search your deck for a JHUDORA's Bluff card or a card with JHUDORA in its name, and add that card to your inventory. So JHUDORA is just like a searcher. It's really good for this deck to search whatever you need, and you could synergize with the uh, location card that's in here, which we'll go over in a little bit. But yeah, so we get 2 of these JHUDORAs, and it's really nice that everything in here, with the exception of cards you can only have 1 of and like the ghost paintbrush, is you get an entire playset of the cards. So you really only need to get 1 deck to like with the Champions of Meridell deck. I ended up buying like 8 of them because I needed all the potatoes and all the equipment where, you know, you could have any number of them in your deck. So when you built decks around it, you wanted to have like several, and you really only need to buy 1 of these if you want just like the JHUDORA reprint, which honestly, the JHUDORA reprint itself probably pays for the box. That alone is worth it. But we do have this really cool alternate art, Sarah and Daisy, with that foiling as well. This looks really clean. Looks really cool. Love that so much. And then we've got JHUDORA herself. This does have the eroded card text. So when this card is sent from your inventory or deck to your discard, you may play it. When you play cards from your discard, or you may play cards from your discard as if they were in your inventory. When a card played this way would be sent to the discard, send it to the void instead. So that was an errata that was put into place for JHUDORA. Now, if you use JHUDORA to play like pets or cards that would like, so let's say you play like equipment and then use like Dr. Death or something, those cards would instead go to your inventory, or the pets would go back into the deck rather than just getting voided immediately. So JHUDORA having the updated card text is really nice and looking good in that card art. Very cool. And then JHUDORA's Bluff. This is the new location card, and there's 1 of these in the ILLUSEN deck as well for ILLUSEN's Glade. And this actually does start in the main deck. So this will be in the 50 card deck itself. There is no level to play it, and it basically just lets you play an extra card per turn. Now, the JHUDORA's Bluff does require you to be running this deck specifically. Let's go ahead and read it. So it says, once per turn during a preparation phase, you may discard a non-legend card with a level requirement equal to the number of completed quest counters on this card, +1. Add 1 completed quest counter to this card, max 5. Once per turn during a preparation phase, you may play 1 JHUDORA's Bluff card from your discard with a level requirement equal to or less than the number of completed quest counters on this card. When a card played this way would be sent to the discard, send it to the void instead. So it does have a built-in JHUDORA's effect from the fairy, which is pretty neat, except it's only with JHUDORA's Bluff cards. So you can't play like Sarah and Daisy with it, for instance, because Sarah and Daisy is actually a villain. But you can play the JHUDORA legend off of it, because JHUDORA has the JHUDORA's Bluff icon there. So let's say you play JHUDORA turn 1, and you add JHUDORA's Bluff to your inventory, and then the next turn you play JHUDORA's Bluff. You discard a 1 cost, like a food or a potion, so you get 1 quest counter on this, and then JHUDORA's Bluff will just let you immediately replay the JHUDORA Fairy, and be able to search something else from your deck. So that's really cool to see. Some neat synergy. And then let's go to the other cards. We've got the Wand of the Dark Fairy, the ultimate goal of completing the quests. So, Wand of the Dark Fairy. When this card is sent from inventory or deck to your discard, you may play it. During your preparation phase, if your Neopet has taken 5 or more damage, heal 3 from it. Absolutely insane effect. And then, as long as your JHUDORA's Bluff location has 5 completed quest counters, this card has the following effect. During your battle phase, you may discard any number of cards from your inventory. For each card discarded this way, deal 1 damage to your opponent's Neopet. So all of them have this effect where when they're discarded from inventory or deck to your discard, you may play it. So they all of the cards in here do synergize with the JHUDORA's Bluff because you do need to discard them. So let's say you have 4 quest counters on JHUDORA's Bluff, and you're level 5. If you use JHUDORA's Bluff to discard Wand of the Dark Fairy, you then play Wand of the Dark Fairy by its effect. So the neat little callback from completing quests. I think it's very funny that with the location you discard non-legend cards. That means you're discarding potions, food, and like other actual like items, which is very funny because in the game, JHUDORA's Bluff and ILLUSEN's Glade, you complete quests by turning in items, and then the more quests you complete, the better items you get in return. With Wand of the Dark Fairy being at the pinnacle of that currently. So very cool. We got 2 wands here. Let me just organize this real quick. Alright, there we go. Just had to get a little organized. And then we've got pets. So here's a brand new pet exclusive in here. We have the Ghost Akara. Wow, just look at that. She's looking so adorable. Right in front of the mirror. And another thing to note is the Ghost Errata is also on here. But previously, it used to say during each player's battle phase, you may send 1 card from your inventory to the discard, gain 2 attack or 2 defense this turn. They have since errated it to saying during each player's battle phase, you may discard 1 card, gain 2 attack or 2 defense this turn, which is very relevant that they changed the keywords there. Cards like Ghost Loop Sword would not work because they used to specifically send, and the Ghost Loop Sword specifically needed the cards to be discarded. Now you can use the Ghost Pets. You can discard off of its effect to gain +2 attack, and then that Ghost Loop Sword will also give you the additional +2 attack. And there's other synergies too, like Ghost Loop Shield or the Ghost Loop, and other cards that will require them to be discarded in that sense. So very cool to see there. Another new card here is the Ghost Drake. Oh, just look at him. He's so adorable. So cool, so spooky. And a pretty cool stat line too. 12 HP, 4 attack, 4 defense, and 3 movement. Not a ghost to be messed with. That's for sure. Love Drake in this game. I think it's really awesome. And here we have the Sarah and Daisy avatar code, which I will scratch that off later. But yeah, each of the decks come with their own avatar code, which is really cool. And then, one thing else, one other thing I forgot to say is the decks themselves have all holographic cards. So every card in here is holographic, which is really neat. It's always fun. I am a holograph person. I love it when my cards are holographic. It's so satisfying. And so seeing everything in here, it speaks directly to me. But yeah, we've got the red Akara, the green Aisha. Notably, these are all the Champions of Meridel art, I believe. We've got the blue Drake. Very nice. We've got the yellow Jub Jub. And last but not least, the blue Loop. And then to finish out the Ghost Pets, we've got the Ghost Aisha. Again, they all have like that errata text that the previous Ghost ones did not have, so that's cool. We have the Ghost Jub Jub. And of course, we have the Ghost Loop. So that's very neat. Very cool. Love to see it. And then we've got our Ghost Paintbrush. Again, the deck only comes with one. There are ways to get it back. So just because you may have used it for one round doesn't mean that you won't be able to use it again. So that is nice to see. That at least, even though there's only one, there are ways to get it back. We have a Barnabas, which is a brand new pet exclusive to the deck. And his fetch ability, fetch one JHUDORA's Bluff card from your deck. Note that it does specify a JHUDORA's Bluff card with the icon. That means you can't search for the actual JHUDORA's Bluff with this, but you can search for the JHUDORA Legend, which can then search for it, or any of the other stuff in the deck. We have JHUDORA's Brush. We've got two of these. This is a crazy one-cost equipment. This says when this card is sent from your inventory or deck to your discard, you may play it. During a preparation phase, you may look at the top 3 cards of your deck, add one of those cards to your inventory, and return the remaining cards to the bottom of your deck in any order. Then discard one card from your inventory. So every single turn, you will get to use a Lightning Lenny ability effectively. You can just pick and choose. It gives you just like an extra draw, which is crazy. It does require you to discard, but there are all the different discard synergies with this deck. So often you're not too upset about having to discard. The only time this is rough is if you don't have any cards in your hand, then you're not going to have anything at the end. But maybe, just maybe, you'll find exactly what you want to discard anyway. So yeah, JHUDORA's Brush is a very strong card. Next up is JHUDORA's Half Necklace. During your preparation phase, this card is in your discard. You may recycle 2. If you do, play this card. The level required to play JHUDORA's Bluff cards in your inventory is reduced by 1. Neat little ramp card. You can bring out your Wand of the Dark Fairies a turn earlier or 2 turns earlier if you happen to have both of these. We also have a new keyword in here. We have the recycle keyword, which means you put cards from your discard down to the bottom of your deck. So that is one of the ways that you can recycle that Ghost Paintbrush. Quite literally, quite literally. No pun intended there. But yeah, so it has the ability to just cheat itself out, and it just gives you a little bit of extra ramp for this deck. So kind of neat. And then we have JHUDORA's Dark Collar. So this has the same ability as all the other ones. When this card is sent from your inventory or deck to your discard, you may play it. During your turn, whenever one or more cards are sent from your inventory or deck to your discard, draw 1 card and gain 1 attack and 1 defense until your next turn. So the Dark Collar, giving you some extra stats, giving you extra draws. Absolutely crazy. So this will definitely keep your hand full, especially with all like the discarding this deck is doing. A very good card. And then we have the Portable Cloud, another one of the rewards from the JHUDORA quest line. This one is a 4-cost equipment. when this card is sent from your inventory or deck to your discard, you may play it. During a preparation phase, you may remove one completed quest counter from your JHUDORA's Bluff location, deal 2 damage to your opponent's Neopet, and heal 2 damage for your Neopet. So, really strong if you can consistently keep your quest counters up from the bluff. This provides an alternate way to deal damage, and healing has been an effect that has not been very relevant up until now. So the portable cloud being able to deal 2 damage and heal you for 2 is pretty significant. One of the Dark Fairy also deals also heals you for 3 damage as long as you've taken 5 damage. So there are a lot of ways to keep your pet healthy in this set. So that's really fun to see that come up. A little bit of anti-aggro synergy. We've got the Sinister Scythe. This is a level 5 equipment. When this card is sent from your inventory or deck to your discard, you may play it. Whenever a card is sent from your inventory or deck to your discard, deal 2 damage to your opponent's Neopet. So the Sinister Scythe, iconic from the website. These were in the Fairy Festival as a reward for siding with JHUDORA. And in the game, it is a very powerful 5-cost card. Again, you can play it for free just by discarding it. And the deck is always discarding, so if you do get this out, you're going to be dealing a ton of damage. Note that this is not an Illusen's Bluff card. So you see with the other ones, not Illusen's Bluff, JHUDORA's Bluff, they do have this here. That is missing from the Sinister Scythe. So be careful about that. You cannot play this off of the location card. Next up are more quest rewards. We have the Poisonous Lollipop. Very iconic. Complete quest number 1, and you get this. But you get to look at the top card of your deck. If that card is a JHUDORA's Bluff card, you may play it. Very simple. It's a 1 cost, but it's one of those that you don't want to play as a 1 cost. This would definitely be played later on, maybe when you're like level 3, because you'll have the best opportunity to be able to play something. Of course, you could always just reveal a code stone and then nothing happens, but I guess that's just a gamble with it. It is a level 1, so it's really good target for the location card, as you can just discard it for that, and then you could use the location card to immediately play it, because you'll be at 1 quest counter. Next up is the Purple Spotted Shroom. In game, Purple Spotted Shroom gives you some HP, gives you some stats. In here, it is a level 2 food. Until the end of this turn, whenever you send 1 or more cards from your inventory or deck to discard, draw 1 card. So similar to the Dark Collar, the Purple Spotted Shroom is really good if you can combo off all those discards. If you got those brushes out in play, you play the Purple Spotted Shroom, and then you're going to be drawing off of the card discarded. And if you have the collar out, then you're going to be drawing 2 cards. 1 for the Shroom and 1 for the collar. So very nice. It's a good level 2 target for the quest location. And then we have the Dark Shroom. Another stat boosting Shroom on the site. And same on here. So this one is level 3. And until the end of this turn, whenever a card is sent from your inventory or deck to your discard, your Neopet gains 1 attack, 1 defense, and 1 agility this turn. So very neat. Very cool. 3 cost food. So that'll be very good for the quest itself. And it just gives you a little bit of stats. We have another 3 cost food here. We got the Toxic Shroom. This one reads, until the end of this turn, whenever a card is sent from inventory or deck to discard, heal 1 damage for your Neopet. So again, a lot of healing synergies in here, which is refreshing to see. And yeah, the Toxic Shroom being able to heal you a few points. Good level 3 discard target for the quest. And then we've got the Caustic Potion. Again, one of the early game rewards for the quest line. Scrap 1, and then for each JHUDORA's Bluff card or a card with JHUDORA in its name scrapped this way. Deal 1 damage to your opponent's Neopet and heal 1 from your Neopet. This deck is playing a lot of JHUDORA's Bluff cards, so there is a pretty good likelihood that you could scrap one of them to take advantage of that, and that's really nice. Sending a card from your deck to discard also triggers the JHUDORA equipment abilities to replay themselves. So some synergies there. Very nice. Level 1 that can be discarded for the quest. And another one here, we have the Noxious Nectar. This one reads, scrap 1 and deal 1 damage to your opponent's Neopet. This one is more simpler than Caustic Potion. It's just a guaranteed 1 damage, no matter what. So, very nice. And then at level 2, we have the Malice Potion. This is the antithesis of the JHUDORA's Potion. So this one, when this card is sent from your inventory or deck to discard, void it, then heal 2 from your Neopet. And then its on playability is you discard 1 card and heal 2 from your Neopet. So good healing synergies there. Might be pretty good. And then one of the most exciting things are the code stones being hollowed, and they picked the good choices. This Lu code stone is my favorite attack code stone from the Champions of Meridell set, so I am really excited to see them all in there. We've got 8 Lu code stones and 8 Bree code stones. So, very nice. Again, I just love the art on these code stones, and seeing them in foil is incredible. But yeah, that is the JHUDORA deck. Very, very neat. And yeah, let's go ahead and look at the ILLUSEN deck now. So, I'll just put that one up there. And then looking at the ILLUSEN deck, so they'll have the same number of cards in there. And yeah, let's check them out. We've got the same playmat, and then same rule sheet along with explanation for some synergies. And then first, let's check out the dice. So the dice are, they appear to be like a green and yellow. Let's see, let's get it opened up. Again, this would be so sick if these were like this color green with purple. One of my absolute favorite color is green, and my second favorite color is purple. So it's really cool to see these. It would have been really awesome if they did that combination, but I love the green on this dice. It is so cool. I am definitely in love with these. Yeah, this will definitely be my choice of dice going forward. Are these green dice? So very cool, awesome dice as always. And then we have the deck itself. Let's go ahead and crack that open. So we have not had an ILLUSEN fairy before. She has not been in the game. There was a lot of speculation that she was going to be in the Champions of Meridell set because that's where she hangs out, right? That's where she lives. And she was not in there, to our surprise, because we knew these decks were coming. So it was yeah, I guess we just all just kind of assumed that that was going to be the case. But yeah, right on top, we have our 2 copies of ILLUSEN. ILLUSEN, just look at that foiling too. Like, she really pops from this. Like, that is incredible. But ILLUSEN is a level 1 legend. And she reads, search your deck for an ILLUSEN's Glade card or a card with ILLUSEN in its name and add that to your inventory. So she can search out the fairy version. She can search out the location, which we'll get to in just a little bit. or any card with this symbol on it. So that's really, really nice to see her on there. We have Sir Hopsalot, which is her friend. Just like the Bartimus or Sarah and Daisy is to JHUDORA, we have Sir Hopsalot for Illusen. And Sir Hopsalot, notably, is a Meridel card. Does not share the same team as Illusen, but Sir Hopsalot reads, search your deck for one card and place a card on top of your deck. So there are some synergies with that in this deck that you may want to scrap. Hint, hint, they're going to be scrapping a lot in this deck. So this will set up exactly what you want to scrap or draw. And then we have the Illusen Fairy herself. This is the first time we've seen Illusen, and this is some gorgeous art for her. She has an amazing ability. Once per turn during your preparation phase, you may do the following in any order: draw 2 cards, scrap 2, and recycle 2. So we see that new keyword, recycle. Again, recycling is putting cards from your discard to the bottom of your deck. Now you don't have to resolve these in these order. You can scrap, recycle, and then draw. You can recycle, scrap, and then draw, or just do it in order. Draw 2, scrap 2, and recycle 2. So, very crazy good ability. Illusen is going to be fantastic in the early game, and then JHUDORA is going to be a powerhouse in the late game when your discard is already set up. So, very nice. And then we've got the Illusen's Glade location card. Very gorgeous. I just love the colors and the theming with all of this. And then the Illusen's Glade card is practically the same as the JHUDORA's Bluff card, except with the Illusen's Glade cards instead. But it does read, once returning your preparation phase, you may discard a non-legend card with a level requirement equal to the number of completed quest counters on this card plus 1. Add 1 completed quest counter to this card, max 5. And then once per turn during your preparation phase, you may play 1 Illusen's Glade card from your discard with a level requirement equal to or less than the number of completed quest counters on this card. When a card played this way would be sent to the discard, send it to the void instead. So yeah, same with the with JHUDORA's version. They practically do the same thing, but it's very nice to have the option to play an extra card per turn. And then we have her powerhouse, the big weapon for completing all of her quests. We have the Illusen's Staff. So this one reads, hello? This one reads, during your preparation phase, if this card is in your discard, you may recycle 5. If you do play this card, you'll notice that that theme is they can all, a lot of the equipment can all be played by recycling cards from your discard. So kind of like how the JHUDORA cards like to be discarded, these like it when you recycle. And at the beginning of your at the beginning of your battle phase, if your Neopets has taken 4 or more damage, heal 2 damage from it. So Illusen's staff in game is a little bit weaker than the JHUDORA's wand, so it makes sense that the healing ability is a little bit worse. But as as long as your Illusen's Glade location has 5 completed quest counters, this card has a following effect. During your battle phase, you may scrap 5 for each Illusen's Glade card scrapped this way. Deal 2 damage to your opponent's Neopet. So being able to deal up to 10 damage potentially with the Illusen Staff is wild. With the JHUDORA's wand, you have to discard cards. So you're limited to the cards in your inventory, but with this, you can just scrap 5 from your deck. And don't forget, you are recycling cards. So if you happen to be like late in the game and you're like out of cards, you recycle 5 to bring back Illusion Staff, and then you use the ability to scrap 5. If you recycled 5 Illusion's Glade cards, then that's just a free 10 damage. So this is a very powerful finisher, very strong if you can get there. And of course, there are ways to cheat it out, which we will go over in just a little bit. We have a couple new pets as well. We have the Fairy Drake, first time being seen. The Drake is also the only pet in the game to have both a ghost and fairy form, which is really neat. And they just do the standard fairy thing, where you stack a card on top of the deck, and then you gain 2 attack or 2 defense. You can stack something that you want to scrap, and so that has some synergies there. It's not like the Battle Fairy deck, where you stack cards on top, and then like the equipment will then reveal and then play. So this does play a little bit differently, but there are some synergies there. And then we have one of my favorite pets in the Neopets Battledome TCG, the Uni, sporting the new fairy color. Look at those stats. We got 10 health, 3 attack, 1 defense, 8 agility. So crazy to see that agility number on a card, and the foiling is so gorgeous. The fairyland background is really popping off. I'm a huge fan of that uni. Very awesome. And then of course we have our Sir Hopsalot avatar. This is the avatar that's unique to the Illusen's Glade quest, or the Illusen's Glade structure deck. So very nice to see. And then we got our basic pets. This one's sporting a green drake over the blue that was in the other deck. We have the yellow Irie. Yeah, again, these pets are a lot more aggressive than the ones that are in the JHUDORA's deck. JHUDORA's deck is definitely built to go slower, where it feels like the Illusen's deck wants to go a lot faster. We've got the yellow Gellert, the blue Cow, and a red Uni. So again, they're sporting the Champions of Meridel card art. And then we've got the fairies for the other pets. So we've got the Fairy Irie, the Fairy Gellert, and the Fairy Cow to round out the rainbow pool there. And then we have the Fairy Paintbrush. Again, it only comes with 1, but this deck is all about recycling, so you'll easily be able to get it back into the deck and potentially play it again. And we've got the Mortog, the pet for the deck. This one fetches 1 Illusen's Glade card from your deck. So, neat there. And then we have probably the best card in the set. Illusen's Comb is wild. So it has the effect when this card is recycled, you may play it, and there's so many things that recycle in this deck. And then during a preparation phase, you may look at the top 3 cards of your deck, add one of those cards to your inventory, and return their main to the bottom of your deck in any order, and then scrap 1. So very similar to how the brush works, except this one also has an additional ability. During your turn, whenever you scrap an Illusen's Glade card, draw 1 card. So it just added on that little bit extra. So if you use the comb and you pick out what you want from 3 cards, put the rest at the bottom, and then scrap 1, if you happen to scrap an extra Illusen's Glade card, that's just an additional free draw. So that's really gross. Scrapping is really good. It's awesome to set up your discard. So yeah, Illusen's Comb I can see being an auto include in a lot of decks going forward. I also see like Haydrak and other equipment removal being very prevalent to try and deny these. So Definitely keep a watch out for that. And then we have the Illusen's half necklace. So this is Illusen's version. You get these half necklaces by siding with them during the Fairy Festival events. So it's neat that they both have their half necklace. And this card reads, when sent from your inventory or deck to your discard, you may play it. Very interesting that the JHUDORA's half necklace has an ability to, so you recycle cards to replay it. And the Illusen half necklace has, when it's sent from your inventory or deck to your discard, you may play it. Very interesting. Notably, if you do scrap it, you do get to play it, which is nice. And then the level requirement for Illusen's Glade cards in your inventory is reduced by 1. So, again, just another ramping ability for the Illusen's Glade cards specifically. Next, we have the Leaf Shield. And we're going to notice a common theme with the equipment. So during your preparation phase, if this card is in your discard, you may recycle 3. And if you do, play this card. So a lot of them have that ability where you can just recycle cards back into the deck. And then whenever you recycle one or more cards, gain 2 defense until your next turn. At the end of your turn, scrap 3. So yeah, you're basically just like scrapping a bunch with the equipment. A lot of them will scrap at the end of turn. And then yeah, recycling cards will just net you a bunch of defense. So it'll make you a little bit bulkier. And we also love playing free cards. We've got the Illusen's Blade, another one of her quest rewards. This one is a level 4. And during your preparation phase, if this card is in your discard, you may recycle 4. And if you do, play this card. During your preparation phase, you may remove 1 completed quest counter from your Illusen's Glade location, deal 2 damage to your opponent's Neopet, and scrap 2. So similar to the Portable Cloud, except it is having you scrap instead of healing. So this one does feel a little bit weaker than like the Portable Cloud does, but 2 free damage is nothing to uh, nothing to look over. Battle Fairy Dagger was one of the best cards for the deck because that 2 damage is guaranteed. And I feel Illusen's Blade is also going to be very strong when dealing that free direct damage. So definitely a card to look out for. And then we have the Glaive of Verdancy. So this was another reward for siding with Illusen during the Fairy Festival. The Glaive of Verdancy is a level 5 equipment that reads, during your preparation phase, if this card is in your discard, you may recycle 5, and if you do, play this card. Whenever you scrap a card, deal 1 damage to your opponent's Neopet. So similar to the Scythe, anytime you're scrapping, anytime you're scrapping, you're just dealing damage. It's just free consistent damage. Again, I don't feel it's like as strong as like the JHUDORA's equipment are, but you do get to play it for free for just recycling 5, so it does seem pretty good. Again, note that this also does not have like the team icon up there, so this cannot be played by the Illusen's Glade location card. And then we've got the Illusen's Cream Cookies. These are level 1 food. Look at the top card of your deck. If that card is an Illusen's Glade card, you may play it. Just like the Poisonous Lollipop, you probably don't want to play this on 1, but you do probably want to discard this for the location. So it just gives you that free quest counter. It's very nice, and then you can play it at a later turn when you're at a higher level to really increase the chances of that free play. We've got the Flower Cake, which is a level 2 food. Until the end of this turn, whenever one or more cards are scrapped, draw 1 card. You're scrapping a lot with this deck, so just giving you a free hand advantage is pretty nice. And then the level 3 food, we have the Leaf Taco. Until the end of this turn, whenever one or more cards are recycled, your Neopet gains 1 attack, 1 defense, and 1 agility this turn. And that rounds out the food. Here we have the potions. We have Illusen's Potion. So, this card is unique. This card is treated as 2 cards when recycling it for the effect of an Illusen's Glade card. So if you're low on cards in your discard, this one will just help you get there. And then you get to scrap 1 and heal 1 damage from your Neopet if you just play it for turn. So it's a free heal, and the scrap could be relevant. Especially if you combo with like the glaive or the comb. If you scrap a another Illusen's Glade card, you just get to draw for free. And then we have Mud Mixture. Scrap 1. For each Illusen's Glade card or a card with Illusen in its name is scrapped this way. Deal 1 damage to your opponent's Neopet and heal 1 from your Neopet. Same thing as like the Caustic Potion, just for the Illusen's Glade. And then we have Illusen's Earth Potion. So this is like Purple Blob Potion. When this card is recycled, void it, then deal 1 damage to your opponent's Neopet. And then if you play it for turn, you scrap 2 and deal 1 damage to your Neopet. So, playing it will scrap a couple cards and put this in your discard for a damage, and then maybe you replay a Leaf Shield from your discard by recycling the cards that were just scrapped and this card, and then this gets voided and you deal an extra damage on top of that. That's pretty good. Next up, we have the Honey Potion, which is a level 3 card. This card reads, recycle up to 5 cards, and for each card recycled this way, your opponent's Neopet loses 1 agility this turn. So if you're really going aggressive, draining their agility will definitely help you by giving you more rerolls. Maybe you just need to recycle cards to add more to the deck. And there's a lot of synergy with recycling cards, being able to play like the brush. So yeah, not bad. And then at the end we have our Code Stones. So this deck has defense and attack Code Stones. So we have the hollow hard Code Stones, and again, it's just so nice to have hollow Code Stones. And then we've got the Mao Code Stones. But yeah, so these are the 2 decks. I'm very excited to check them out and play with them more. And I encourage you guys, if you're interested in any of these, check your local game store, see if they have it in stock. If not, check the Neopets merch shop. At the time of recording this, I don't know, I don't think they're live on the website, but if they are on there, I'll try to put a link in the description. And then go on there and use promo code Bobby5 for 5% off those decks. So with that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Hope you guys have a good night. Peace.